Hi everyone, today we're going to be picking my August TBR. August is an exciting month because my birthday's in August and I think that baby girl is going to be born in August. She's due early September, but no one thinks I'm making it to September. So we'll see what August brings, but it's going to be an exciting month and it starts tomorrow, so I need to pick out my TBR. I'm going to start off with my first dice that decides which dice I roll next. So this is like the categories. So I'm going to roll 5 times and let's see what books we pick. Okay, if I sound out of breath, I'm sorry, but I am very pregnant. Everything makes me breathe really hard. But I got the plant. Oh, it's not going to focus, but I got the plant side of the dice. So I can choose a book that has plants on the cover. So let me look. I have this cart, and I also have books that are stacked over here to my left. I already think there's nothing over there that has plants. Okay, was not planning on this book. I think this is the one I'm going to choose. It is a lip fic. It is Mood Indigo. I got this when I was in Scotland. It was in like the Scotland book area, and I really don't know. I bought this a while back, so I don't really remember what it's about. I think it's a love story, and where this our protagonist Chloe gets a water lily in her lung, like a water lily starts to grow in her lung. Not quite sure. But I remember I was interested when I like picked this up in Scotland and I liked the like area that it was in, so this will be my first pick. I'm interested. It's such a pretty, cover and obviously there are plants on there, so this will be the first book. For our second prompt, I got word count and it's 300 to 400 words, or page count, not word count. So I'm gonna see if a book I really want to read is 300 to 400 pages. I don't know. But the two that I really want to get to that are over there are under and over that amount. So okay, I had to take a little intermission. But for this prompt, it's 300 to 400 pages. I'm going to choose George Orwell's 1984. I started reading this when I was getting back into reading, and I was also trying to read Fahrenheit, whatever numbers are at the end of that title, 461? Something like that. And I remember just feeling that they had very similar vibes, like dystopian feelings, and I was getting them confused. I was like getting both of the stories confused, and then ended up giving up on both. So this will be my second pick, and hopefully some of the books I really want to get to. Like the role will make that possible. The role was page count again, and it was 1 to 200 pages. That's a tough one. I'm not gonna get these books on my TBR. I really don't want another literary a lit fic. I could read this. I think I might read this because my options are pretty limited. I know I don't want to read Neil Gaiman's Caroline yet because I want to read that in October. And I don't want to read The Outsider this month either. Okay, I think I'm going to read this one. This is Ask the Bones, Scary Stories from Around the World. It's a really short read. It has 140 pages, and this came out in 1999, and I found this at a thrift store, and I thought it looked cool, and I liked the cover. I need to take the little price off of it, but this will be my third book. So far we have no fantasy, and well, I don't think this would really be considered a horror because no, I wouldn't put it in that category, even though there's spooky stories. I want like a horror book. But this will be our third book. Let's see what we roll next. Okay, we rolled something I haven't rolled yet. I mean, I've only done this game twice, but it's the prompt jar option. And I don't have, sorry, that's probably loud. I don't have a jar yet, so I just have a bag filled with prompts. And I'm going to pick one. I do want to get like a cool spooky jar, but eventually. A book with a male main character. Oh man. The three books that I have over here, I know all the main characters are female. Okay, let me make sure. Okay. I had to change my battery so my candle blew out. The books that I really want to read are all female main characters. Okay, the book that I'm going to choose is All the Light We Cannot See because there is a male main character. There are multiple POVs. So I'm going to say that that will work because most of my books, well, okay, the ones that are male main characters are all fantasy and chunky fantasies, I think. So, or like a sci-fi, I think the main character is male, and well, you can't see it. I just feel a little too intimidated by the books that I think have male main characters or they're lit fics, and I don't want another one. So we're gonna go with historical fiction, and this will be my fourth book. Let's see if we can get a horror on this TBR. Okay, we got fantasy. And I really don't know what to pick. You know what I might do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the book that I did not finish last month, which is, let me get it. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue with The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen because I really don't want to start a fantasy when I am currently reading this. This was on my TBR for last month, and I have not finished it. I'm not close to finishing it. So this is going to be the fantasy that I choose because I was already thinking that I was going to bring this over to this month. But it's my game. And I feel really intimidated to start a new fantasy series or to continue one. Like, fantasy seems the most daunting lately because you're committing to so many books. So I've been really steering clear of fantasy, which is majority of my books. I've been trying to read, you know, not fantasy, everything but fantasy and sci-fi, which I love, but this will be my fifth book. And I am just going to add the book that I'm dying to get to. Horror has just been my genre this month, and it's just one of my favorite genres. And I couldn't get this on the TBR by Rolling, so I'm just going to add it because I really want to read A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay so bad. I read some really good horror books last month, and I want a horror, so I'm gonna try for 6. And a lot of these are pretty short, so should be doable. We'll see, but this is gonna be my final book because this also seems kind of like a summer read, but we'll see if I add any more. I did add books to my last TBR that I did not roll for, but I feel like we have a pretty good stack. I didn't get one of the books I wanted on here, but I did get the one I want the most. Okay, so here is my stack in case you forgot. Because I feel like this video has been I had to stop and start so many times. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I pick out my August TBR. If you don't know what to comment, you can comment the eyes emoji for George Orwell's 1984. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.